a couple years ago, but my publicist told me, no, you don't want to do that. That's not what you're really known for. And I had 30 people sign up for it. I was going to do 20 guys, 20 girls, and I was going to do speed dating. We can talk more about how I was going to do it.
Yeah.
Because I promise you, it's super big here, and they would absolutely love it. I don't think we ever left the honeymoon phase from when we started dating.
Yeah.
So kinda yeah, a little bit. As far as the wedding goes, definitely still honeymooning in that, because it's like, I don't know, like I feel like it hasn't really hit me yet that I'm married, and I feel like it will once, like, I have to do something real husbandly.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? It was like, even having my daughter, that didn't hit me until like 6 months in, where I was like, yo, I got, like, this is some father stuff. Right here.
That's how I'm feeling right now. Are we recording, by the way?
We're recording. This isn't going to be in a podcast. No, this won't be in a podcast, right? Everything is recording.
It's all good.
No, this might add for good content for like some other stuff. But yeah, we're going to talk about that.
Oh, for sure.
Here we go. What's going on, y'all? Welcome to another episode of In My Bag with Backpack Jeff, where we connect with ordinary people doing extraordinary things. And today, I got a very special guest here with me, y'all. The founder of UPC, the DMV, that's Urban Professionals Community in the DMV area. Justin, what's going on, brother? How you doing, man?
Hey, man, I'm feeling pretty good. I appreciate being on your platform.
Hey, absolutely, man. You look good, man. You looking happy these days.
I'm a little sleep, but I'm doing something right. Appreciate you, man.
I love it, man. So tell the people, who is Justin? How would you introduce yourself to people?
Cool. Yeah. So I'm a guy who's just been navigating my way through my career, and like I would say my 9 to 5 and my 5 to 9, and been just trying to merge them over the years. So I have an engineering background, very technical, very left brain, but I also got this very right brain side of me that's creative and wants to build community and bring people together. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of where UPC was birthed out of. And I've been running that since 2017 officially up here. But more about myself, I would say, again, I'm a bridge builder, I'm a community builder. I actually enjoy, like, if you ask me what my pastime is, it's literally working on my projects. My mind needs to constantly be running. If you're a friend of mine, you know this about me.
Right.
I don't make a lot of time for fun for myself. I just be burning the midnight oil. So, but, I'm also a family man. So my wife, Kelly, and my brand new daughter, Amelia, who is just over 5 months now. So now balancing that with everything else, with the career, with the passion. It doesn't make for much sleep and playtime, but it's very fulfilling. So.
We're gonna, man. I'm so happy that you just kind of gave us the gauntlet of everything, because we're literally going to tackle each one of them individually. And I kind of want to start from like the beginning in terms of like yourself in college. You said you have an engineering background.
Yeah.
Did you always know that you wanted to be in engineering?
No. So I never really, and to this day, don't have a passion for engineering. So back in high school, I was a math and science, like those are my gifts, I'd say. Mm-hmm. And so as a part of that, like I think my guidance counselor pushed me into a program that I believe it was NSBE, National Society of Black Engineers, through my high school, that kind of got me into the engineering world. So I just naturally kind of was like, all right, I guess I'll do this in college. Got my 4-year degree, like, all right, I guess I'll get a job in engineering, and I started finding things that I liked about it. Okay. But it just never hit me to that core. But I was always able to do it, if that makes sense. But it just wasn't my passion. Okay. So, yeah.
Okay. So did you, as you're going through college, did you find a challenge? Because my first major was electrical engineering.
Word.
I wanted to be an electrical engineer, and I love watches. I love cell phones. Yeah. I would take them apart, put them together, stuff like that. But when I got to college, man, I just couldn't do the science part of engineering, and I was just like, yo, I can't do this anymore. So I told my mom, I was like, I got to change my major. Yeah. So like, did you find any part of it challenging at all, or?
For sure. I'm just I'm the kind of guy that just like, even though I found it really challenging, I just, I didn't go out a lot. Like I was not that socially involved in school. And so I would just kind of put my head down, through the weekend and just study and stuff like that. And I made it through. I mean, there were definitely challenging pieces of it, but I actually kind of appreciated the challenge. So I don't know, that's just kind of how I made it through, I guess.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Where'd you go to school at?
I went to Vanderbilt in Nashville.
And Vanderbilt and Nashville.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you from?
I'm from Baltimore County.
Baltimore. How the heck did you find Vanderbilt all the way out in Nashville, Tennessee?
I applied to like 13 schools, bro, and they gave me the most money. Not scholarships, financial aid and stuff like that. Some scholarships, but I was like, all right, this makes sense. It's a good name. I'm gonna go here.
Okay. All right. So you come back. You come back to this area. In 2017, you had this great idea to start this community called UPC. Tell me, where did the idea for this and what need did you feel like you were solving?
Okay, for sure. So actually, to explain that, I'm gonna have to go back a little bit further.
Let's go back a little further.
2017. So I'm gonna just give you the quick rundown.
We got time.
4-year degree. Then I moved. My first job was out of Connecticut. So I was in East Hartford, based out of East Hartford, Connecticut. I was there for 2 years. I would say they shipped me down to Georgia. I didn't want to go. Against my will, they told me, you're going to Georgia. And not Atlanta, Georgia, but Columbus, Georgia. Town, it's got a big population, but it has a very small town feel. So I was down there, and I just didn't find a lot of people like me. So I created UPC there. It was called Urban Professionals in Columbus. It's a little known fact.
Okay.
And so that was literally my way, and I started it on the Meetup app, and that was literally my way of creating a community of people around me that were, had the same interests as I do, like some of the wealth building stuff. We did some of that down there,
right?
Believe it or not. So that ran for about 1.5 years. It got kind of burnt out, and then I shortly thereafter moved back up here in 2015. And then 2 years later, I was like, man, I got to do this again.
Right. So what made you say that? Well, what gave you the confidence to say that I have to do this again and that you can do it again? Because it's easy to do it one time, and maybe you got lucky, right? But what says, hey, look, you got to do this again, and you got to start from like ground zero, right? Because you're back home, obviously, but still trying to, now we're adults, now you're trying to find your way, now you're trying to connect with different people. What made you say that I can do this again?
Well, oddly enough, it was kind of birthed out of 2 reasons up here. One, believe it or not, I had the same need. So when I came back up here, obviously there's a lot of young urban professionals in this area. Now, I'm from Baltimore County, right? So if you're from around here, you know that Baltimore is not the DMV, right? So this whole world,
cross that bridge.
I was completely unfamiliar with DC, Maryland, Virginia, that as it's known down here.
Right.
So when I started getting a taste of it, it's like, oh, I got to move down here. At the same time, all my Baltimore folks, when I moved back, it had been 8 years. So they were married, having kids, and just living in different places. So it's like, I got to rebuild. Right. So it's like, it worked down there. Why not do the same thing up here? So that's reason number one. Right. Reason number two, when I was down there, that was the first encounter I had with my passion.
Wow.
And it's like, I gotta do it again. Like, I gotta see this thing through. Like, what could this look like? And I was a little nervous at first because I'm like, man, like the big DMV, DC, like everybody's doing wealth building and just that kind of stuff. Like, how will ours be any different? Even social groups, how will ours be any different? I'm just like, you know what? I can't worry about that. Like, I'm going to just do me.
Absolutely. So, and you absolutely did. And I can't wait to get into the success of UPC DMV. Yeah. But so let me ask you this. You from Baltimore County?
I'm from Baltimore County.
How do you not fall into the trap?
The trap?
Yeah. I
think I know what you're saying, please.
Yeah. How do you, because what I see from like a city, not only like Baltimore County, but like a city like Pittsburgh, because I was there for 11 years too, right? Is that people are oftentimes afraid to leave the city. Right.
Yeah.
So how do you not fall into that trap of not being afraid to leave the city?
Yeah.
But then also, man, like rough area.
Yeah.
Neighborhood. I mean, when we think of Baltimore, sadly, like right now, it's like it's like rebuilding. And I see a lot of people who are doing a lot of rebuilding in Baltimore, which it is that I love.
Absolutely.
But like during that time when we were younger, right? Like I used to work with my dad out in Baltimore, so it's like. How do you like stay away from the drugs and the street life and the gang and because it's so prevalent, right?
Yeah.
How do you?
I'll tell you. And the answer is Baltimore County. This is something that people I learned when I came back here.
All right, talk to me.
Baltimore County is not Baltimore City. So
wow,
I'm not
okay.
about that life that you were
absolutely
talking about.
Okay.
I have to be clear because people will check you if you say you're from Baltimore, but you're from outside the county line.
Okay,
it would quickly check.
So Baltimore County.
Yeah.
Is and Baltimore City is in Baltimore County.
No. If you look at the Maryland County division map,
right,
you will see that there's Baltimore County, which goes all around, and then literally there's a little box, and that Baltimore City is an actual county into itself.
Okay,
like most people don't know that. So Baltimore City is its own county, and Baltimore County is separate. It's completely separate.
It's completely separate. Yeah. Okay.
Now I would say the culture's mixed. We got the Ravens and the Orioles and all that stuff, but even like the governments and they're different. So I didn't grow up in that lifestyle.
Okay.
That's how I didn't quite have that mindset. So I can't necessarily speak to that, but I will say, just growing up as an only child, like I felt a little bit like suffocated as a kid, and I had to get out.
Wow. Okay. Got you. And I like that. So UPC, you're starting UPC, right? How did the first meeting go with UPC, right? What was that like? Yeah.
So let's see. 2017, I started on the Meetup app again. And for those who aren't familiar, Meetup is it's like an app. It's kind of like Facebook groups, but its own app. So you can host your own group, and your group can be an interest of you like to watch horror movies, or you like to go out on the weekends, or you like to travel and you like to do this. So mine was a group that's dedicated to young Black professionals who want to socialize and build wealth. I just started it on there. People would start to join. And our first couple of events, we get like 10, 12. I think my first event was at Society in Silver Spring, and about 10 people came, and we had a blast. And the rest was really history, man.
How do you build relationships with these different places and venues in order to hold events there? Because that's not an easy thing to do, right? Talk to us about that. How do you build these relationships with a place like Society, or even I saw last one I was at Caldi's.
Caldi's,
yeah. How do you build relationships with these venues?
That's a great question, and to be honest, we're still working on that. Because especially like if you don't come with like a lot of these places, they'll be like, sure, yeah, I'll let you take my venue for X amount of dollars that we don't have, So what we've done. And the strategy that we mostly use coming up, and because of the nature of a lot of our events, we're just very social, not the wealth building ones, but the social events, we just meet up at the spot. We wouldn't even coordinate with the spot when we were smaller numbers. So we might have 20, 30 people. We would just say, hey, we're meeting up at McGinty's Bar in Silver Spring, or we meeting up at La Tasca in DC or whatever, and then people would just show up. But as we started to grow, we had to contact the venues ahead of time, and shortly, just by trial and error, we figured out which venues were friendly to us and which ones weren't. I think venues there's a couple that have really taken, we've built a really good relationship with, and number one is Caldi's.
Really?
For sure. There's one in Highland R&R, and that they were great out in Arlington that we worked with recently as well.
Okay.
And so we like to find venues that have big, wide open spaces, that are very flexible, to us having events that don't really charge us a lot because we are a nonprofit, and they're accommodating.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's so important to get, it's like super important to get those relationships right. Because like you said, they want to know how it's affecting their bottom line. Absolutely. If you're going to have all of these people in here, are they going to be buying drinks? Are they going to be buying food? Are they going to be buying hookah? All of those different things, right? Yeah. So are you all looking for like a resident place, or are you because I think it's nice that you have, I think the first one I ever came to was in DC. I was at one in Caldy's. I was at I think you just said Virginia. Are you looking for a resident place, or do you have, because I would imagine the DMV is not just Maryland or DC, right? So what does that look like?
I think because of the nature of what we do, and just to kind of explain it, our mission statement is to provide an environment or establish an environment for young Black professionals to socialize, meet each other, and also build wealth. I kind of mentioned that. But the social aspect is a huge part of us. And we're trying to acclimate people to the DMV. We really appeal to transplants, people who aren't from here, who have moved here recently. And we really appeal to people who are maybe introverts. I'm not necessarily that, but we do a good job of just, when we see people that come and they're feeling a little bit shy or whatever, we just pull up on them and be like, hey man, let me invite you into the fold. So with that being said, we do like to spread around. We don't like to just stay in one place. However, I will say that for some of our big events, dating in the district, the arts and entrepreneurship thing I was just telling you about, Caldy's has become a really good place for us. They've been reliable. And another one that we've worked a lot with is Republic Garden. Okay. And and DC Now events, they partner with them as well. So we have a good relationship with these people. And we will do frequent events there, but not necessarily all of them.
Yeah. Okay. I like it. So I kind of want to talk a little bit about the events, right? Because one of the events that you just mentioned, dating in DC.
Yeah.
What is dating in DC?
All right. So dating in the district, it's not a dating event. I always have to put that.
It's not a speed dating event?
It's not a speed dating event.
Oh, man. It should be a speed dating event.
You think so?
I was going to do a speed dating event a couple years ago, but my publicist told me, no, you don't want to do that. That's not what you're really known for. And I had 30 people sign up for it. I was going to do 20 guys, 20 girls, and I was going to do speed dating. We can talk more about how I was going to do it. Yeah. Because I promise you, it's super big here, and they would absolutely love it.
Okay. I'm gonna definitely take that note. I will explain our rationale for avoiding it thus far. Okay. So many people have brought it up. Guys don't like come into that stuff. In my experience,
they don't. That's why you gotta. That's why. See, you're absolutely right. Guys don't, and that's why you gotta I reached out to I specifically picked 20 guys who and I told them, I was like, listen, this isn't a we're not meeting one night stands here, right? These are women who are here, who want relationships, who desire relationships, who desire a man who's confident and comfortable in his life, where he is, he knows where he's going. I see you as that kind of guy. And listen, I'm not saying that you got to marry anybody here.
Right.
I ain't saying that you got to marry any. All I'm saying to you, bro, is come out, have a conversation with 20 women.
Absolutely.
Maybe something happens.
Absolutely. I love the idea. And I do think we'll do it. And I do want to do it. And I was thinking about doing it here for this event. I'll say this, and what my experience has been is that guys in this area, they don't like feeling boxed in. Like I've talked to so many guys about this. They're like, oh man, there's a lot of pressure when you get it, you got to sit there and talk to these people. What if I don't like them? That kind of thing. So I think a lot of guys are scared of, being in a situation where they have to be confronted with like direct questions and stuff like that, because the ladies are just they're gonna come with it, man.
So absolutely right, absolutely. I'm about to we're about to go through the whole dating joint right now, right? So look, so 3 minutes each person, and it was going to be a 2-hour. It was going to be a 2-hour event, right? So for the first hour, you go with the 3 people and you get 3 minutes, and then that's the first hour. You take a break, and then you do the second hour. So the card game Tonight's Conversation?
I haven't heard of it, actually.
It's a they have a podcast too. It's called Tonight's Conversation, but it's a dating card game. So like questions that you would ask on the first date and stuff like that. So we put like 10 on each one of the different tables, the cards, so that you can ask questions from each, so I'm taking the guesswork out of what does this first conversation going to sound like.
Yeah, that's huge.
You know what I'm saying? Like now you have guidance in terms of, so if y'all don't know what to talk about right off you know what, let's just pick up one of these cards and go, oh, okay, how do you feel about blah, blah, blah?
I love that.
Oh, okay, all right, well, now it's feeling like a regular conversation, and then you weave your own opinions and stuff like that, and then you can have a healthy debate, you can have a healthy agreement, whatever it is, right? Then after you do your 20 people, when it's over, there's a 30-minute mix and mingle. During that time, everyone has bags that's on the bar. Okay, everyone has a bag that's on the bar. This is, again, taking rejection out of it, right? So let's say I saw this girl right here. I want to talk to her, but I see she's talking to Jerome or whatever, and I'm gonna just take one of my cards that has my number in it, and I'm gonna put it in her bag. And she's gonna go home with that bag full of numbers or what have you, right?
So your number and your name.
Your number, your name, and your Instagram profile.
Okay.
So that you can say, reminded of who you were, because we ain't doing none of the funny stuff, right? Yeah. I want your name, your Instagram, and your Instagram gotta be gotta open it for at least 48 hours so that people can know who you are, right? So unlock your Instagram. I know you want it to be private and all of that stuff, but unlock it so people can know who you are.
Yeah.
So now, if I wanted to talk to Jessica, but she didn't want to talk to me, she's not going to call me back. Now, I don't feel like I got rejected because I didn't go up to her and go, hey, we had a good conversation. Can I have your number? And she goes, no. Now it's, well, I put my number in there. She calls me. She saw my Instagram and maybe.
And it's only the guys doing the number thing.
No, the women too. Right? The women too, because some women like to approach and stuff like that. But it's difficult, and we're cutting out the awkward feeling of, do they want to talk to me too? I don't know, right? So the women can go, all right, let me put my number in his and his and his and his, and you just go from there.
And another big thing that you mentioned that I think is a key to the success of that is picking the people, like picking people that you know or you're familiar with. And I think it does two things. One, it cuts out on some of the riffraff of people who are like coming for the wrong reasons. Two, it cuts off on a lot of women complain that they go to speed dating events and they don't see enough men. So it's not like you're leaving it up to chance.
Yep.
All right, here's my proposition to you, bro. I know your publicist is saying that you don't want to do it.
Oh no, she's been long fired since then because she's full of bad ideas.
Well, bro, if you want to work together to make this happen, we're
gonna work together to make it happen.
We can do that, man, because it'll be big.
We're gonna work together to make that happen. I've been wanting to do this, and I want to do it around Valentine's Day because that's the perfect time to do it. Around Valentine's Day, because that's like the love season and stuff like that. And then what I was offering right after that is my my poetry event, Can We Talk? I was like, if you meet someone at this speed dating event and you choose to go out on a date to my poetry event, y'all come in free.
Bro, this is
that's more incentives to you. Hey,
that's
I'm just
genius,
saying,
bro.
I'm just saying.
Yo, if you want to put my community and pour us into that, like,
we're gonna do it. We're definitely gonna do it.
Dating in the district.
Yes, talk to us.
Dating in the district. It started as an idea with my wife and I, who weren't married at the time, and we actually met through UPC. But we said we want to have these conversations that everyone's having, but we want to have it in a larger forum. And we don't want it to be completely chaotic, but we want a level of chaos because it's fun and it's just, people need to say the real, right? Yep. So the first time we did it was in 2019, I want to say, 2018 and 19, and we did it at formerly Red Rocks, now Focus Social Club. upstairs, and we had about 50 people, and we had a microphone, and we just invited people up to ask questions. First, we kind of had the moderator ask the audience questions like, hey, what are your thoughts on this subject? Should guys always pay for the first date? Or what's an appropriate first date? Or, why are some guys so flaky? Sometimes the guys did get ragged on a little bit, but just having these natural conversations, and just over time, it got really fun. Like the energy was just crazy.
Yeah.
So we gotta do this again. So of course it was COVID, and then we did it again earlier this year.
That's when I came to that call, and they was getting on me, y'all. Because they said the question was, should you tell her that you have a kid on the first date? And I said no. You remember that?
Please.
I said, right, this is my platform. Let's get it. So I said no, that I wouldn't tell her, because I don't even know if to me that's sacred information, right? Yeah. That's like, I'm gonna save that, but I will say it. I feel like that's sacred information, right? Yes. And I don't even know if I want you to be that close to me, right? Yeah. That's the reason why I don't pay for dates when I go out on first dates, right? When I was dating, I didn't pay for. I'm not taking you out to dinner on the first date,
right?
Because I don't even know if I want to be here with you. You know what I'm saying? Because I was dating online, and then if we just meet at like a gas station or at the mall or something like that, how do I know if we can even have a legit conversation? And now if we got to sit here and order food, that's at least an hour.
That's an investment, bro.
That's an investment. It's $80,
you can't invest all,
That's what I'm saying. It's $80. Now I'm trapped in this conversation with you for at least an hour, and I don't even know if I want to be here with you. So we can go out for a walk. Me and my wife, we went down to the harbor. We ate ice cream and we walked and talked for 4 hours. Right? Like that's the reason. So I don't even know if I should give you that information.
And there's dating vultures out there.
I don't
even have to explain that. You know what I'm talking about.
Absolutely. Oh, you got to yep, I'm done. Right? Okay, fine, cool. And before you even get to know me, you're already going to judge me based off of that fact. So let me be who I am. And then if you bring it up, I'll just mention it. It doesn't have to be one of the things that's brought up. I'll mention it to you. I'm not ashamed of it. But that was my rationale behind it.
And was it not well received?
It was. It was no. Oh, absolutely not. They were, no, you need to tell. You trying to hide stuff. I was like, no, I'm not trying to hide anything.
These are conversations that need to be had.
For sure.
And over the past couple of years, with the whole Kevin Samuels things, and it's gotten the conversations. They've come back. People are actually starting to have these real conversations now, and for better or for worse, that's what's happening. And so we're providing a platform for it. This year will be a little bit different, or 2023. So 2023, due to some feedback that we've had, we are adding a panel of dating experts from various walks of life, coaches, etc.
I was going to ask you about that, because I was going to say, like a millennials marriage, discussion or something like that, like millennials who are married, because quite a few of us are getting married, but not a lot of us are getting married. Yeah. You know what I mean? And it's like, what's going on in our millennials age bracket as far as marriage goes?
That's a great question.
Because when you think about it, right, what are some of the first things that you've heard about marriage?
50% end in divorce. That's like number one. It's a negative.
It's a negative. So why is it that we've been taught so much that, it's going to be hard. Oh, make sure you do this. Make sure you have this. Make sure you have side money. Make sure you have hush money. It's going to be hard. It's a lot of work. But it's good, though. But it's a lot of work.
Yeah, that's not a good...
The narrative of marriage is so negative right now.
It is. And I think... I'm not an expert, by the way. I just... My opinion, my piece of nugget on this one is that other types of people, not in this community, they get married at a much younger age. A lot of them right out of high school. And why is that? Here's my standpoint, and why I think it relates to wealth too. I think it's related. What does marriage bring you? It brings you stability. it brings you reinforcement. It brings you encouragement. It adds value, all things that help you build wealth. Now, I'm not saying you get married to make money. Mm-hmm. I'm just saying I know Justin before I was married and after I was married, and my capability to produce has increased tenfold.
Right.
And I think that other cultures realize that there's a stability in that. And for whatever reason, sometimes in our culture, it's we don't focus on that. We focus on our ability to, like, you know.
Okay. All right. So this is going to be the clip right here. Yeah. This is going to be the clip right here. To my editor, cut this part right here.
Okay.
Do you think that because the single mom has been glorified so much in the Black community, it has affected the marriage rate of Black women?
That's a layered question. That is a very deep question. Do I think the single mom has been elevated so much that it has kind of hurt us as a community?
Been like glorified. Like this, like the independent woman has been glorified in our. Okay, yeah, all right. So let's say that. So the independent woman has been glorified so much that sometimes being a wife isn't as valued as our counterparts, right? Because I feel like they value it. And they make it so important. But for us, it's like, girl, you don't need no man. Girl, you can do it all by yourself. You don't need no. You don't need no.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a two-way street. So okay. I gotta. It's got to be fair, right? And I'll come to this afterwards. Like, guys, we got to step it up too. So tremendously. You know, so let's park that there for a second. On the side, I just heard a clip yesterday. Actually, I watched this. I think it was like an Anthony O'Neill. They were at the gathering spot and with a bunch of fellas on a panel. It was really good. And one of the guys was talking about this very point, and he was actually calling it the boss chick like element, and how, you know, these women want to be the boss chick, and how many men want a boss chick? Like, they don't necessarily want their chick to be the boss of them. And I think, you know, that was his standpoint. Now, you know, they got some disagreement because some of the fellas were like, no, I appreciate boss qualities of a woman.
For sure.
You know, so it's like, yeah. But I think what he was getting at is, those qualities of an independent woman, of a boss chick woman that says, I am here to run my own thing, I don't need you, like, those are not things that are going to work well in a relationship. Mm-hmm. It may serve you outside of a relationship, but it doesn't necessarily serve you within a relationship. So how do you come together and resolve that? He said it a lot more coarse than that.
I got you.
But I'm just kind of toning it down. So I do think that is there's a certain layer of truth to that for sure.
For sure.
And that has been promoted in our community. And it may have been promoted for good reasons, and Black women are doing extremely well. But I would say, to answer your question directly, yes, I do believe that is hurting us. Now, to come back to the fellas,
yes, because we gotta come back to
equal playing field.
Because I don't think, again, the men value relationships. Right. It's not as glorified, right? Like, I love the fact that two of the greatest rappers of this era, one has been named the official greatest rapper of this era, I think, by New York Times, Kendrick Lamar and J. Cole. They are married.
They're both married.
And it's been for like more than 5 years, both of them.
Yeah.
And their careers are doing amazing. And the longevity behind their careers is absolutely amazing. And in their music, they're not glorifying a lot of the stuff that's being glorified. Yeah. And so I think they should be appreciated more because of the fact that they're married. People don't even know that they're married. If you don't or you didn't, you're welcome.
Yeah.
But we have got to do better. And desire, man, I remember when love was desired, man.
Yeah.
Being a husband was desired. Now it's like, I just be chilling.
Yeah,
where do you think that comes from or came from?
It's this, American, like, oh, I got to get my finances together. That's what a lot of guys will say. I got to get my stuff together. I think a lot of guys do eventually, right? Mm-hmm. They eventually want to settle down unless they've been, married and divorced. I know some folks who are married and divorced and they're like, I ain't doing that again.
Right.
Unfortunately. But For the most part, I think most dudes eventually do. They want to be at a certain level first.
Right.
Which is difficult for us, right? And again, other communities, they don't necessarily think like that. Why don't you get into the relationship and build? That relationship will help you build.
Yes, absolutely. And I will say that my relationship has helped me build, right? It's gotten me to the place where I am now. We were fortunate enough to buy our house, and the house that we have, I couldn't buy without her.
Same here.
I could. I'm super fortunate, but I could not have done it without her.
Same here.
And I think a lot of guys, I run into that a lot of times. Like a lot of guys say, I got to get my money right. I got to get my money right. But what does that look like when you think about getting your money right? And I encourage women to think about this, right? Like as a man, buying you the ring and proposing, it's nothing. That costs a couple $1,000 depending on. But I got to pay for a wedding.
Yeah.
Dang, how much is that going to cost?
Yeah.
Oh, shoot, then she going to want to have kids. I'm going to have to pay for the kids. How much is that going to cost?
Yeah.
And then by the time he has that inner conversation with himself, he runs away from you and tells you he's not ready because he got to get his money right.
And you know what, on top of that, what they're thinking, and this brings it back full circle, is, oh, these are some boss chicks out here in D.C.
Right.
If I'm not at their level, they're not going to want me.
There you go. Absolutely. I got a match, and that's a whole podcast right there. That's a whole podcast, right?
Let's talk about dating.
Right. So we went down a rabbit hole and never turned back. But no, that's absolutely right. Like again, you get the boss chicks, and then it's like, if she's making more money than me, is she taking care of me? Right. Yeah. Then it's like, how long is she willing to do that before she says, I don't want to do this no more, and now I'm going to go and get someone else who I don't have to take care of but can take care of me.
Yeah. And it's like, it's just that vicious cycle of the women saying, oh, you got to be here and you got to be doing this, and the guy saying, well, I need a woman who's going to submit, and all this stuff. And it's just, they're running away from each other, man. And how do we solve that problem? I don't know, but I do think we should talk about it.
I do think there needs to be more conversations about it, and you're doing that, and that's exactly what I love. So when is Dating in the District?
Yeah, so 2023, February 11th.
Okay.
It's a Saturday. It's a Saturday before Valentine's Day.
Okay.
We're going to be at Caldi's from 6 to 9 p.m.
Okay.
Like I said, we're going to have a panel, and I'm not going to mention who the panelists are, but there's some pretty good panelists. We haven't finished collecting all our panelists yet. There's going to be some peer discussions, so kind of like we had last time, where we broke out in the groups. I don't know if we'll do groups this time, but we're going to have peer-to-peer discussions, and we're also going to have some business vendors set up downstairs so that people can, shop black and go downstairs for intermissions and stuff like that. So it's going to be a real vibe.
I love it, man. Yeah. I love it. So tell me about the other events that go on within UPC, right? You mentioned wealth building.
Yeah.
What are some of the strategies that you guys are using to help other people build wealth, or events that you guys are putting on? That's
a great question. So we kind of we run the gambit. We do events that we call master classes. So where we'll bring an expert in and they'll come and teach on a certain topic. We also do something called masterminds. So that's like a very intensive cohort of like 5 to 10 people, and we'll meet every single week online typically. At the beginning of the 3 to 6 months, we will put a syllabus together of what we want to learn. And it'll be, let's say it's a mastermind on stock investing. So we'll get everybody together and say, oh, I want to learn about options trading. Oh, I want to learn about futures. Oh, I want to learn about analyzing the fundamentals of a business. Oh, I want to understand, the graphics and how to read the charts. And every week somebody will go and research that topic and come back and to teach it to everyone else. So that's the mastermind concept.
I like that.
And then there's also, we go out and we work with kids or stuff like that as well. So some of the stuff that we did last year and we're going to repeat this year is we focused on home buying. So we did a home buying session partnered with Coalition Properties. There's one of the biggest realtor groups out here in the DMV, Black, and they're killing it.
Love it.
And next year, we're going to be doing that, but we're also taking the spin on entrepreneurship.
Okay.
So we're going to have an event called an Arts and Entrepreneurship Social, where we're going to have a panel of entrepreneurs who are in the arts, and how did they navigate sustaining a career in the arts, not just a hobby, but an actual career.
Yeah.
And we're partnering with a company called Art Bay to pull that off. So, we're just doing a lot of different creative things. And all of our events have a social element to it. So they're fun. It's not something that you're going to come out to and just bring your notepad and then leave.
Right.
Like, you're getting drinks, you're getting food, you're networking, but you're still learning something.
Yeah, I love that. I love that you guys are focusing on the social aspect of it to make sure that everyone gets involved and everyone has something from it.
Yeah.
Because I think there's a lot of potential missing pieces, because people can go to a networking event, but if they're too shy to speak or something like that, they may not get from the networking event what they should get from the networking event. Mm-hmm. And because you all are facilitating different discussions, I think that definitely helps. But then also just the environment from the first day that I came, man, it was so warm, inviting. I was like, who are these people asking me to come over? Okay, hey, now I'm in the conversation, right? Yeah. So no one feels excluded in that, which is absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
So you said you met your wife at UPC, right?
I did.
How did that happen? Did she was on the meetup, or what did that feel like, man?
She hates when I say this. Oh, go ahead.
No. So I was gonna say, ladies, okay, stop going to the club to meet your man.
Right.
He might be the man that you want to meet is at the urban professionals community. And how do you know? Because he's a professional and he desires to be around other professionals.
Right. He's trying to do something.
That's all I'm gonna say. This is a little bit of dating advice.
Facts.
But go ahead.
So
she hates
my wife hates
this.
when I say it this way, but she slid in my DMs.
Ooh, my wife did the same thing.
There's a common thread.
My wife did the same thing.
Nah, but so my wife actually had a group of her own on the Meetup platform as well. Hers was called to Gather Friend Group. And it was all girls, and they were just kind of building relationships, hanging out and just talking. She wanted to do, Valentine's Day was coming up back in 2019, and she wanted to do an event with guys. Actually, the girls in her group were saying, "Hey, we need to interact with guys. Like, it's fun hanging out with each other." So she reached out to me because she was she hadn't come to one of our events, but she was a part of the Meetup group. So she reached out. We had a conversation where we were planning this event, and bro, we talked for 2 hours. Like, I remember I was at my grandparents' house at the time, and you seen like those memes where it's like you just be having a good conversation. You just be like you be on the bed, you be on the floor, and then you just be like all up. That's how
got your legs up.
Bro. Like, I was sitting on my bed, on the little bunk bed. My feet were like up on the top
on the ceiling.
I was just like talking for 2 hours, and then I went downstairs. I'm like, yo, I just had this great conversation with this girl. The rest is history, man. We really bonded on some of the same values, and that's how we came together.
I love it, man. That's absolutely beautiful. Again, that like the love that you desire is it's in a place like that. Like I tell people all the time, go to a networking event, go to a leadership conference, because there are certain people that are going to go to a UPC event,
right?
To dating in the district. There's a certain group of people that are going to go to a conference. These people, forward-thinking people, they may not be where they want to be, but they are trying to figure it out, right? Yeah. And that's half the battle right there, is a desire to figure it out.
Yeah. Dude, I got this philosophy. Okay. My wife and I talk about this stuff all the time. I kind of do it. I'm a visual. I feel like we all have circles. Okay. And I don't mean your circle of friends. I mean a circle of influence, a circle of things that you care about, places where you try to add value, what represents you. So Justin has one, Jeff has one, so Kelly had one. And Kelly, everyone's circle is of varying size. Justin, for the longest, was working on expanding his circle, and he was doing that through UPC, his realm of influence. Kelly did the same thing. She found something that she was interested in, this Together friend group, and she started building it. She said, I don't want to just meet my person. And I'm not saying that she did not design her group to meet her person.
Right.
She designed her group to actually meet friends similarly to what I did. It's like, oh, you want something? Oh, create something around you that expands your circle. So eventually, when you're passing by all these different people, right? If your circle is big enough, you're going to converge with the other person's circle, right? And if their circle is big enough, they're more likely to converge with you. And that's what happened with me and Kelly. She created a bigger circle for herself. She said, these are the things I'm interested in. This is what I want. Right. I'm going to create this atmosphere, this group of this, you don't have to create a social group, but it can just be, like you said, like going out to, whatever it is that you're interested in. And building something around that. So she built hers, I built mine, and that's how we came together. If we didn't each build our thing, we would have never met.
That's crazy, and that's being right for each other because you're both on your way, right? Like not one person is being stagnant or anything like that. But you're both on your way. You're both moving. A lot of people, they sit and they wait for something to happen, but like you said, if your circle is big enough, it's going to cross paths with another circle.
It is.
That's amazing,
bro. That's how I think about it. I hope so.
Jeez, I hope they caught that, man.
And let me explain it in terms of a nugget that's more digestible for somebody. If you're sitting at home, and let's say you have an interest in movies, go on the Meetup app or something like that, Facebook group, and create a group of people around you. What's likely to happen? You're going to have, if you're looking for that special somebody, you'll have some guys, or if you're a girl, or if you're a guy, you'll have some girls who will join that group who are also interested in movies. I mean, doesn't it make sense? As opposed to just going out to a bar and hoping you find somebody that has a similar interest.
That's
it's almost laughable.
That's so practical though. Like when you think about it, like go on the Meetup app, put in what your likes are, and then other people are going to join that group, and then and then there's no pressure either to say, yo, you could just find a nice circle of friends who are interested in the same things that you're interested in.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, the icing on the cake is now I found my person.
Yeah.
And now you all can do it together because you're both interested in it.
And that's what we're doing.
This is how you and Kelly, now you guys got these ideas. Hey, let's do dating in the district.
Yes.
It's gotta be spicy, but like not too spicy.
Yes,
right?
Exactly.
So and now you've come together. You're doing the UPC together. She has great ideas. She's already capable of doing a lot of the stuff because she did it herself.
She did it herself.
And
it works so well, man.
What do women do to everything that they touch? Multiply.
Yes. Bro, she's so much better than me with people. Like, I'm not even a people person, believe it or not. I enjoy people, but like I'm not the most social person. And Kelly, she's just great. She's just, I don't know if y'all have had time to really one-on-one, but like she's like the type of person who just appeals. Everyone likes her. Right. And she gets around, she makes you feel comfortable, and she can light up a room, man. And so like us getting together really made a lot of sense.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, man. Congrats to you. Congrats to Kelly. Kelly, we're going to have you on the podcast too.
Absolutely.
Because we definitely want to hear your side of the story. I know you're going to say he slid in your DMs like my wife says all the time too. It's okay. So what's next for UPC? Like, where do you want to take this?
Okay. I'm glad you asked that because I don't talk about this enough, man. I'll say where I want to be.
Okay.
All right. Where I want UPC to be is I want it to be a household name in the Black community. You're in college, you want to do engineering, you go to NSBE. You want to do like the news or broadcasting or something like that, you go to, I forgot what it is, National Society of Broadcast. I don't know. You want to do business, you go to National Black MBA. Mm-hmm. What if you just want to, pursue entrepreneurial pursuits and make money and figure out the wealth building strategies, like even while you're in school. UPC, I really would like to be that entity.
Wow.
I want it to be in every major city. I want it to be on college campuses. And I want us to definitely continue to have the social and the wealth building, but definitely focus on the wealth building part, where it's like, if I want to learn how to get my stuff together financially, I'm going to come to UPC first. I really want us to be there. And they're going to give me the principles. And more important than the principles, they're going to surround me with a community of people who are trying to do it too.
Yep.
So how do we get there?
Yeah.
That's where we're on the pathway to figuring out.
Yeah. I love that, man. And I definitely have some ideas for you in that regard, man. And what you guys are trying to do, what you're not trying to do, what you guys are doing, man, is number one, it's needed in this community because we need more of it. And man, we have to. So I'm going to do a beginning of the year event with like entrepreneurs, high level entrepreneur thinkers in this area, man. And I definitely want you and your wife to come because I feel like I don't know what type of synergy is going to hit or what's going to happen when we all get in the room. But if you put enough great minds in the room, something is bound to happen.
It's true, man. I'll be there.
Yeah, something is bound to happen. We're gonna make that happen, man. Because I see the way, again, and I always refer back to this, and if y'all are tired of hearing me say this, it's just because it's true. The way that these Atlanta entrepreneurs move.
We talked about that at the first meeting that you came to, bro.
The way that they move is ridiculous.
Yeah. It's all about the social and
it's
networking.
It's all about the social and getting and being around. And it's like there's no hate. Like one of the guys who I'm getting more and more close with is my friend Christoph, right? And I just said, I mean he posted it, he tagged himself in the post, but I said, yo, I just helped two of my friends get a bag. One of them was my virtual assistant. He needed a virtual assistant, so I was like. He was like, yo, you got your virtual assistant taking clients? I was like, absolutely. I just helped her get a bag, right? Then he's like, yo, I need a project manager. I got a couple of projects. I know a great project manager. I just haven't used her yet because I don't have a project for her to manage. But he calls her up. She calls me that night around like 9 or 10 o'clock and says, I just wanted to say thank you so much for that contact and that connect. We're actually going to be doing a lot of amazing work together. I appreciate you.
I love
and
it,
I'm
man.
like, this is what we here for.
It's about the connections, man. And it's about building a community.
Yes.
You know, like that's how you really learn, you know. I mean, you can obviously be in the books and YouTube and stuff like that, but opportunity comes through your network.
Absolutely.
Sure.
Absolutely, man. And I can't say thank you enough for leading that charge.
Of course.
So how do people join the UPC? Like how do they join?
Okay. So to join UPC, the first thing I would suggest you do is go to at UPC_DMV on Instagram, Facebook as well, and we're joining other platforms as well. That's the first place to get familiar with the stuff we have going on. From there, you'll get linked to our website, www.urbanprofessionalscommunity.com. That's where you'll find the whole wealth of information. And then I would just say, come to an event. You see, or you could find us on Meetup as well, Urban Professionals Community. Come to an event, meet us, like engage with us, and prove me wrong that we're not the type of group that will not just let you sit in the corner and be by yourself.
The very first time I came, they grabbed me, pulled me over to the table. We had conversations. That was 2 years ago, maybe?
Yeah.
That was 2 years ago because it was before I met my wife.
Yeah. It
was over 2 years ago. Here we are today, sitting down on the podcast.
Here we are today, man.
I promise you guys, it's contagious. It's a good virus that gets into you because there's so much love, and it's like, yo, dang, I just want more of this. When's the next one? When's the next thing, right?
Yeah.
So go to an event. Engage, interact, go looking to have fun, right?
Yes.
Because you're going to get out of this experience what you want to get out of it.
Yeah.
So go looking to have a good time, and you will absolutely have a good time. You might be able to meet your bae in there. You might be. Results may vary. Is all we gonna say.
No guarantee.
Yeah, right.
But come to dating in the district, your bae will likely be there statistically. There's gonna be a lot of people.
Statistically speaking, your bae is gonna be dating in Entertainment District, February 11th at Cowdy's in downtown Silver Spring from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. God dang it. Like, come on, listen, look, I'm gonna shout this out every episode now that we drop from here on out until the date. That's what we're gonna do, man.
Let's do it, bro.
We're gonna show love. We're gonna spread love. Can you give us a last some encouraging words? Because we're closing out. This is the last day of 2022.
It is
going into 2023,
it's man.
What are some encouraging words that you can give to the people?
Yeah, I think I'll just kind of reconnect with what I was saying earlier, man. My biggest thing is put yourself out there. A lot of people, and I'm really speaking to some of the introverts and people who are new to DC, don't have their established friend group. That's what we're here for. But even aside from UPC, put yourself out there. Create something around you. Whether you start a group on Facebook or you plan something on Eventbrite, just start doing something to bring. Don't just go to things, but bring people to you, because you'll really see different things. You'll really see God work in a new way. He created each of us to be creators. So use that creativity within you to build something around you, and you will start to attract the things that you want out of life. And if I could plug one more thing, 2023 is going to be a monumental year for UPC. We're just elevating and doing a lot of things bigger. We started a formal membership program. So if you're interested in becoming a member and really get involved, you can talk to us about that or look on the website. But we're already planning a lot. So we got a brunch in January. We got Dating in the District in February. Also in February, we're doing a ski trip. We just locked that in. So we're going up to Maryland by Deep Creek and going skiing.
Nice.
We're doing some volunteering work. We've got everything planned out from now till June. So definitely connect with us. We got a lot of great things going on. Ask us about membership, which is a way to really get involved and get involved in some of the more exclusive group chats and community. That's our most intimate layer of community that we have. And try us out, man.
Absolutely.
That's all I'll say.
Absolutely. Listen, I guarantee you guys, you won't be sad. I guarantee it will definitely be worth your time. My wife and I are in the group.
Yes.
We absolutely love it. We appreciate you guys. Again, don't forget, go to urbanprofessionalscommunity.com. .com or .org.
I might have said .org, but .org.
.org. Find them on Meetup. Find them on Instagram. You guys have seen it here. If you guys have been watching, the link will be in the bio description. For all of you all listening to the audio, it will again be in the description. Man, I can't say thank you enough for coming down and sitting down with me, man.
Man, this was fun. I was a little nervous at first.
I told you, man, it's super candid, man.
You gonna ask?
No, everybody always asks me that. Do you got to listen to the question? I'm like, no, it's like this is nothing you have to prepare for. It's literally,
man. It was easy.
I knew you would be good at it because it's just talking about your passion, man.
That's what it is. That's what it is, bro.
That's it, man. So we appreciate y'all. Like, comment, subscribe, send this to your auntie, uncle, cousin, grandmother, grandfather, all of those good people, man. We thank y'all so much.
Yes.
Y'all know my motto, always stay in your bag so you never got to chase a bag. And we
This
out.
dude right here, the truth.